Con el culo todavía esto. Qué talegazo le pega a la mesa, así de free.
The free in the tonight, in the floor. Boom, 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 boom.
Dios,
ya sé.
Batalla de radio 2017, loco. Y 2018. Para, me están llamando, güey.
It drops down a little bit. So that's going to be a new challenge, a new variable. So the riders were out given that a few practice starts.
Well, the start list for this first qualifying race then.
I do bang, yeah,
this was drawn
baby.
by ballot this
I feel
morning, Jeff Emig, and Portugal will go to
Martín, ¿retransmites o qué?
Que te calles, coño, que ahora pesado.
Yeah, and so the interesting thing here about this,
A ver, tío,
Dale.
pongo aquí, te loco, mira cómo toca en trompeta, tío.
Gate number 1, which will be screen all the way to the right. It's the rider's left. So as you see as you go down the line, each team member for each one of the
chaval, qué hostia tiene toda la puta.
Ya he pasado el enlace, primo. Uy, ¿cuál es los dos?
You're going to average
Qué follón. Ah, vale, este. Hijo puta, lo he hecho pre.
Venga, adiós, luego nos vemos.
No, ya te vayas, loco. Haga mucho.
They get first gate for whatever they want. As you're going to see as you go through Great Britain there in 24, and you're going to have to go to the last page to see two of the favorites, of course, Belgium and Team USA, which are 34th for Belgium and Team USA at 37th. So they're going to be lined up way on the rider's right, which is the outside. And initially, looking at the gate from the first turn area, I thought, okay, it's this new gate, it's wide, it's a long start straight. I felt that it looked pretty even, but once I got on the gate, I sat there and I assessed it, and once I went 37 gates out, you know, where Belgium and Team USA are way on our left of the screen, it's quite a bit further. So we'll see how that shakes down. I mean, they're going to have to get off that gate quick if they want to have a shot at it, because the gate's on the inside, probably the first from the middle of the gate over to the inside. You can probably grab the whole shot from anywhere.
Well, this race will go in 3 minutes' time. It's 1:27 in the afternoon here, local time, Greenwich Mean Time, British Summer Time. We're 1 hour ahead of, 1 hour behind Central European Time as we look at Max Nagel of Germany, and some good guys in this one, Jeff. Lining up for Portugal in gate number 1 is Rui Gonçalves, Dean Ferris in gate 2 for Australia, Paulin of France in gate 3, Bobryshev in gate 4 for Russia. And then in terms of the other favourites, Germany, Max Nagel in 16, the Netherlands, Glenn Koldenhoff in 17, Stuart Edmonds, Ireland, 18, Slovenia's Tim Geiser is in 22, GB 24 with Max Anstey as we look at Geiser going through his routine. Tony Cairoli, Italy, 32, Belgium 34 with Jeremy Van Horebeke, and USA with Cole Seeley, 37.
Yeah, and taking a look at the times earlier today in free practice, they've had one long 40-minute practice. It was Tim Geiser from Slovenia on that Honda. He'll be riding bike number 67. He was the quickest, 2:25.5, and he was 0.8 of a second quicker than the next fastest rider, which is Gauthier Paulin out of France. Tony Cairoli, your MXGP world champion, the best he could do in that one was a 5th.
Just looking, there was 1 or 2 riders there just looking like they were taking other positions. So yeah, I think might be. We'll just keep an eye on the start situation, because we'll see if we can get a close-up of the guys over on the far right, their left-hand side of the gate number 1, over on the right-hand side. I want to see who those guys are, actually. So in gate numbers, well, there's Glenn Koldenhoff, but he would be normally in gate 17. But I just wonder whether there's been a shake-up here, because it doesn't look like that's Rui Gonçalves in gate number 1, so I just wonder whether they have decided to get the riders wherever they want to go, because I'm sure in the past that might have changed. We're going to be looking over on, oh no, there's the 22 of Dean Ferris, so he's in gate number 2, I believe. Just wonder if we can get a closer look. Yeah, they are just taking their positions, look, one by one. This is gate number 1. This is not, that's Max Anstey. So Anstey has gone to gate number 1. So strange. So it must be just go where you want to go then. Change
okay,
that
so
without,
possibly there's a bit of a change there, rule change or format change, if you will.
So, Ingo Parch, our FIM race director, then gives the signal. The green flag goes up. It is a 20-minute plus 2-lap race. Absolutely packed here. I expect it will be busier tomorrow, but in gate number 1 there, the number 19, Max Anstey, alongside him, 16 of Tonus. As they get ready to go here for the first qualifying race. The MXGP gate drop is now, and the new start is a success straight away. There's Paul Ann in the middle, number 1, and Ferris number in the green there, green and gold of Australia. He comes out 3rd. It's Nagel though, number 64, that looks like, who has grabbed that whole shot on his Husqvarna. And Slovenia's Geiser right there in 2nd, challenging Ferris for the lead.
Yeah, Anstey comes around. He was 4th, moves up to 5th. Gauthier Paulin moves somebody out of the way, and on the outside, your world champion, Tony Cairoli, moving into 4th.
Yeah, Geiser leading the way. Paulin now in 2nd. Ferris around the outside of him, jumps short on the tabletop, but goes through into 2nd as they drop downhill. You see the circuit change already, but there's Anstey and Paulin side by side. Cairoli in there as well.
Gauthier Paulin started about 6th or 7th, and 3 turns has already made his way up to 2nd. Of course, this event, he's been on the winning team the last 3 years, and there's something about this event where the French rider with the number 1 on his plate, he steps up and brings it here at the Motocross of Nations. Massive quad as they jump up this hill into the main spectator area.
Yeah, I was there this morning in the first free practice, which was these guys, but look at this here. Anstey ran the outside of Ferris. Ferris takes him to the outside, and he'll park it down the inside as Cairoli gets parked by the Brit. Triple for Anstey through the waves, and a single at the end of the straight as he closes back in on the 22 of Ferris, who makes a mistake for Australia. Anstey is now up in the 3rd, going after Paul Ann and Geiser.
Things happening a little bit quick for the Australian right here. Doesn't seem like he's been able to settle in, because he's had riders just challenging him this whole first lap, and now Anstey's going to try to find the inside line here.
Dropping downhill, this part of the racetrack from that corner in the background right the way around to here, pretty much unchanged. But after the finish, you'll see how they loop back up onto the start straight. But Geiser trying to pull clear at the moment at the top of the Tag Heuer triple.
Tony Cairoli out of Italy makes the pass on Ferris there, puts him up into the top 4.
Yeah, and follows Anstey here, number 19 for Team GB. But over the line we go for the first time. Geiser is who leads for Slovenia. 2nd is Paul Ann of France. Anstey is 3rd. Cairoli down the inside of the Brit in 4th, hard on the brakes. Wow. He even tried to pull a clutch and a handful of throttle moment on him, but Anstey way too cute for that.
Well, Cairoli had that rear wheel of that Red Bull KTM locked up hard on the front brake, but
look how open the track is, though, Jeff. They didn't rip the track because there may be some rain on the way, and this ground dries very, very quick, and the amount of rain that we have had has allowed it to just settle down. It's got a little bit rutty, which is nice and challenging for the riders, but look at the line choice they have.
Yeah, we've had a few practices, 3 of the Nations events. There's the Yamaha Blue Crew event coming up here later on, and the track's really shaped up well. But when I talked to some of the riders who had been on the track already, they said these inside ruts on these turns are really getting deep. Let's see if Anstey can hold him off.
Does just about, but you see the braking bumps on the downhill there that the riders were negotiating as they just floated over that 2nd wave. But Cairoli, the 9-time world champ, crowned just 3 weeks ago, is going after the Brit here. This one just, no one wants to give anything up. Actually, the Open and the MXGP classes are stacked with talent this year, Jeff.
Yeah, it's just so competitive. I mean, you're looking at the best motocross riders in the world out here, and trying to work together as a team, though, along with 2 other riders representing their country. Watch, Anstey goes wide, so he's going to triple. He's going to triple again and single. And in the end, maybe a bike link quicker, a couple bike links, maybe quicker than what Cairoli was.
And it's actually questionable whether, because you have to go wide to go triple, triple, single, but you can also go inside to just double your way through, double, 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 single at the end. Is it quicker to go tight and do that? But look at Anstey closing in on his teammate on a regular basis. Gauthier Paulin over at Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. He's got the Frenchman in his sights. Paulin riding number 1 as the defending champions. We've got a man down in the waves over on the far side.
Well, speaking of those waves, I would say the fastest way has to be wherever your leader, Tim Gajser, however he's going through, because he's already pulled out a couple seconds right now, and the pace that, oh, here we go, another pass.
Sneaky move. Toni Cairoli works his magic up the inside of Anstey, so it's now Gajser of Slovenia, Paulin of France, Cairoli, Italy, Anstey, GB, that's him in red, just off the back of that trio. Then we have Ferres of Australia, Bobrashev, Russia, Van Hoorbeek, Belgium, 7, Tonus, 8 for Switzerland, 9 is Nagel of Germany, and 10, Cole Seeley for the USA, Jeff, on his debut appearance here at the Motocross of Nations edition 71.
Yeah, and Team USA has a couple of rookies. Even though all 3 riders are new to the team, Zach Osborne has rode this event for Team Puerto Rico before, which is a Commonwealth of the U.S., but never for Team USA. And along with Thomas Covington, of course, who's in the MX2 championship, and then Cole Seeley are making up that trio of Americans. And I did have the chance to talk to Osborne about, is there a difference between riding this event for Puerto Rico versus USA? And he says it's unbelievable how much difference there is in the attention. And
how less time he has. But this is the battle, though, for third place. Cairoli, Anstey, or second, actually, because just ahead of him, Paulin. Belgium's Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, haven't seen him so far. He's in 7th place, riding number 10. Tonus for Switzerland is 8. Nagel, Germany, 9. Seeley, number 7, is 10. Kolthoff of the Netherlands is 11, ahead of the Canadian Colton Faciotti.
And I kind of had the feeling there watching the first 2 laps with Max Anstey there, number 19 on that white Husqvarna, that maybe he had a little bit of nerves here at the beginning, right? You come through the spectator area and the air horns are just going wide open, see the British flags flying. And that pressure from Cairoli kind of had him a little bit unsettled. I know he lost a little bit of time right there, but it seems like now maybe he's settling in a little bit and gets a chance to kind of let those nerves settle down. And let's see if he can put in some a good time here and try to reel these guys back in, possibly get a top 3. But the rider that seems to be feeling no pressure at all out front, that number 67, Tim Gajser, riding for Slovenia.
So just a moment ago, Toni Cairoli through the wave section made a massive mistake, actually. Anstey was outside triple-triple. Cairoli is going double-triple-double, different combination. I saw Seeley do that earlier in practice this morning. He cased it, came up short, lost a little bit of ground himself, but he's made it up. And he's right on the rear wheel now of Gauthier Paulin. So these two now challenging over second and third. Tim Gajser just ahead of them, 4 seconds now, ahead of the French and the Italian here, number 13, Cairoli. So Colton Faciotti is in 12th, Preet Ratset is in 13th place from Estonia, Cody Cooper of New Zealand 14th, Nick Larson from Denmark is in 16th place because he's just been passed by the Portuguese Rui Gonçalves, and we've got Thomas Simcoe, Philip Neubauer, Philip Bankson and Jose Boutron of Spain, with the Irish team of Stuart Edmonds in 21st place. So it's going to be a hard slog from there. And Jeff Emig, the nature of the qualifying, the nature of the event here is 1 point for second, 1 for a win, 2 for second, 3 for third. And of course, the lowest score at the end of the 3 qualifying races is going to be the when you drop a point, you drop a race. So it's well, watch this first of all.
It's his first look here, as you see.
Yeah, and
Riders really starting to bunch up right there.
That was
Cairoli, the 13, he thought, okay, I'm going to go wide. Everybody's on the inside. And then, sure enough, Anstey pushed him wide. And here this time, the Italian gets the inside line and makes the move on the Brit there, coming just across the finish line.
But watch his line through here now, Toni Cairoli in blue. Out of here, then there's tight left and into the waves. He's going double, triple. He cased it last time around. So watch this, 2. Trying to triple. Again, not exactly clean, but it was tidier last time around.
And doesn't seem to be much quicker either. It seems like ooh, that's going to be the way that the track's going to, what it's going to give you here, because these lines, these ruts are really getting deep. You see some pretty good braking bumps starting to form.
Watch this.
It gets a little sideways here. Watch the rear tire kind of skip out on him. Yeah, he tries to cut across those inside ruts.
Went grass cutting as well.
Nothing he hasn't experienced before. You don't win 9 world titles without being able to handle little moments like that.
So talking about the qualifying then, the guys get 3 races, qualifying MXGP, MX2, MX Open, and out of those 3 you can drop your lowest, your highest score, because high points don't work in the nations. 1 for a win, 2 for second, so let's say Tim Geiser here leading. If his teammate wins the MX2 qualifying race, then of course they're on 2. That is the lowest possible score in terms of, you know, you will be the best qualifier irrespective of what happens in the final moto. And that determines your gate pick then for tomorrow.
Taking a look at Nagel there,
64.
64.
And Tonus there for Switzerland on that Yamaha. Here he is coming down past pit lane. So Tonus, now he's in 8th position. There's Ferris at the bottom of the hill, going up now towards the fullback triple.
He's settled into 5th right now.
Van Horbeke just behind him though, is that? Yeah. So the number 10, Jeremy Van Horbeke, is working his way. There's Nagel on the 64 and the 7 of Cole Seely. So the first time we get to see the American, Cole Seely. Big weekend for him, Jeff, isn't it? Riding for Team USA is big enough anyway, riding as a rookie in the event. Just might take this qualifying race just to get him settled down and, you know, get him ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a nice way to kind of get the nerves out and get out there and race and you know, get to ride the track here with some intensity. But, I mean, with all the excitement happening this morning, I mean, this is, I mean, today, this is just qualifying day. I mean, tomorrow, once you go through more pageantry and more introduction and all that, and you get to the first moto of your very first Motocross of Nations, it's a deal. I mean, the pressure is there. You know, the legacy of Team USA, along with Great Britain, Belgium, 3 of the 3 winningest teams. There's a big responsibility for a young rider like Cole Seely, or a rookie, I should say, to this event.
Paulin, just
beat up
his balance. Look how the lines are working. It was insides earlier. The outsides now seem to be the key. Dropping downhill into the right. Cairoli looking to carry momentum around the outside. Just a little bit too high, but pressurizing the Frenchman now. These two have been sparring partners for a number of years. Backmarker needs to keep out of the way to the right. Couldn't quite see who that was as he went through, but it might have been Yngve Birgersson from Iceland, riding 106. But Cairoli on the line, there was nothing in it. Paulin by about 2/10 of a second. Hanging on to that second position, 6.5 seconds down on Geiser. I was actually stood along that straight, Jeff, this morning, and it looks like they've ripped that and added a little bit of wood chip, sawdust. So it's a lot softer on that part of the racetrack, and you see that'll start to play a part, really, because that gets pretty gnarly as the race goes on normally. That used to be the old pit lane straight as well.
Yeah, they made some great changes to this course here, and just a few laps or a few turns ago, I really felt that Cairoli was going to be able to make the move on Gautier and just kind of strike and make that pass and move on, but now he's had to back off a bit. Okay, I talk about it all the time because I didn't used to like it. Well, actually, I still don't like it, but the roost at a track like this, because it's clay and it's got a little bit of small rock pebble in it, you get a mouthful of roost off the back of Gautier's Husqvarna there, it hurts.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those things here as we take a look at this replay. Watch, he's got his right foot off. Threw in a couple dabs right there, but kept it on 2 wheels, and Cairoli was doing the same thing. It must be a pretty deep rut right in there. It's catching your inside boot as they're trying to stand up going around that off camber. But, you know, that's a situation where if you're Cairoli here on that orange KTM is that, you know, you get close, you get a mouthful of roost, you make a charge, and if you can't make it happen, well, then sometimes you got to just back off a little bit because it either the roost hurts or you really start to get your goggles roosted in, then you start going through a lot of tear-offs.
So, 16, Tonus on the back of Arnaud Tonus. Sorry, on the back of 22, Ferris. So Van Horbeke has gone through into 5th. Ferris has lost a couple places because Bobachev just ahead of him there for Russia has also gone through. So Geiser, Paulin, Cairoli, and Stier top 4. Van Horbeke is 5 as we look at the battle for second between Paulin and Cairoli, again looking to go outside and change his lines up here over this tabletop right in the valley part of the circuit.
He's got a good line through here. He's pretty quick as he Tries to get to the left. Then he'll go back to the middle. No, goes back to that inside line.
5 laps complete. Fastest man on track. That time around was Gautier Paulin, a 2:26.6 compared to the 27.5 of Geiser and 27.2 of Cairoli. Anstey 27.7. So 4 riders there on similar times, but it's Paulin who is still the fastest rider out of that group of 4.
Yeah, your leaders are 2:26, 2:27. Your top 4 there, and then it goes up pretty sharply there. Van Horbeke 2:31 and Korbashev at 2:30, so that's 3 to 4 seconds a lap off of where your leaders are.
And they're in their own little battle as well. But the nature of this event, you know that you just need to qualify, and I think we've seen that it's quite a fair start gate this weekend. Oh, something laying in the track there. Might have been a tough block banner or something, but certainly no stress there. But Cairoli looking to find his way back again, looking to regroup and recharge as he goes after the number 1 of Paulin. It's still Geiser who leads. Paulin here in white for France, the defending champion, second. Cairoli, Italy, third. Number 13 on that orange KTM. Anstey is fourth for Great Britain. Van Horbeke fifth for Belgium. The Russian is Korbashev in sixth. Ferris of Australia is 7. Tonus 8. Seeley 9 of the US. And Koldenhoff of the Netherlands is in 10th position. Then we have Ratset, Cody Cooper of New Zealand. Rui Gonçalves in 13th for Portugal. Then Colton Facchiotti in 14. Nick Larson of Denmark 15. Philip Bengtsson, Philip Neubauer of Sweden and Czech Republic, and Jose Putron of Spain. Justin Starling riding for Puerto Rico, and Thomas Simcoe, number 82 from Slovakia. Then Stuart Edmonds in 21st for Ireland. No one else. Max Nagel has had a problem. He's been missing for 3 laps or so, and so that is going to put his German teammates under pressure because they cannot afford to throw any more results away. Remember, in Italy crashed in the qualifying race on Saturday, and that made it difficult on his team. Max Anstey heading uphill, getting ready to cross the line for the 6th time. Guys are already through.
Yeah, really, when you look at the running order right now, it's probably not far off from what we could have predicted, except for that result of the German rider Nagel back in 36th, and he obviously has had some problems. He's been out for 3 laps now.
Interesting to see if we can get word from pit lane to see what the problem is with Max Nagel, whether it was a technical or whether he had a fall or something else. But that's quite a technical part of the racetrack there. When they pass pit lane, Jeff, I was stood up there in the MX2 practice earlier, and it just starts to get rutty as they start to crest that drop down, which is turn 2. And that will be very interesting in the main races tomorrow, when you've got 40 guys and obviously 2 classes, so that mix of MX2 and 450 guys, whether it's open or MXGP.
Yeah, but that gap between the motorcycles has probably never been closer than what it is right now. The performance of a 250 4-stroke compared to that of a 450.
This will be good, though, for all the other team riders in this one. In the fact that Geiser of Slovenia, he's leading his way for his country there, and his teammates. Oh, I thought that was a little bit close for comfort there. Who was that actually? Dropping down the hill to 55. That'll be Domantas Jedzauskas of Lithuania. Checking this out here. Oh, Paulin, the backhand getting a little bit loose on him, but interesting. Manages to stay there in second, though, Jeff. Got great technique, hasn't he? Just trying to suck up over that crest there, bring the bike in towards him. Anstey might be closing in on these 2 as well. Look, that's the gap. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, pretty much together again as we go wide and hit that next left-hander. Anstey's not out of it yet, and he was a full second quicker than Cairoli last time around, and 3/4 of a second quicker than Paulin. So definitely upped his pace, but so too has Geiser. He's in the 27s, the only guy in the 27s. Cole Seely set a personal best that time around, a 2:29.4. He's currently 21 seconds off the lead. In fact, he's just been passed by Glenn Coldenhoff, so he's now down in 10th place. Right, Cole Seely. Uh-oh, that's why.
Use that electric start
On the 28,
get back going, and so that's going to put Seely probably back to 10th, just behind Glenn Coldenhoff from the Netherlands. So both of those teams, Netherlands and USA, usually two of the favorites, and especially Netherlands after that amazing result last year where they almost won the event for the first time in their history. So they ended up getting second and missing it by 1 point. On yesterday's team presentation, we had a moment to talk with Coldenhoff's teammate, Jeffrey Hurlings, about that 1 point. And I mean, they were so proud of the result. And then once he sat back and thought about it, it's like, wow, we had the opportunity to win. Yeah. And then it takes on a bit of a different attitude. And he said, yeah, it's kind of been on his mind for almost 363 days, right?
Look at Anstey closing in on Cairoli. There was a mistake from Cairoli up the hill just behind those trees about 30 seconds ago. He looked like he caught an edge and it almost pitched him over the handlebars. It was a major panic rev as he did that. Looked like it was a panic rev with the guy that he just passed there as well, one of the slow riders. But Cairoli under pressure now from Anstey. Listen to the fans out here, Jeff. Quite a unique fan system here, isn't it? Air horns and all that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, the fans are already getting going. I mean, look at this. This is we don't even start the main races for at least a full 24 hours, right?
Yeah, around then.
That's great. Just the energy that they have at this race,
and here he is.
The fans are coming from all over.
So Anstey has turned up the pace here. He's going for a tighter inside line. A mistake there from Cairoli. Anstey now looking to go around the outside of Cairoli. And the fans, with, what, 3 laps to go, sensing an opportunity here for Anstey to go through. This is only qualifying, though, Jeff, but you put in a performance like this on Saturday, it can certainly boost not just Anstey's performance here, but also that of the rest of the team, with Tommy Searle and Dean Wilson still to come.
I've got a lap rider in there. Let's see if he plays a little part. He goes wide. Takes a look over his shoulder. That would be the 106, I believe.
Yeah, from Iceland. But
2 to go.
And this one looking tasty. Lap times last time around as Anstey hard on the brakes. It's very tight and quite steep as they drop off there as well. Not sure if you've been down that far on the racetrack, Jeff, but quite an interesting re-entry. Tight, off-cambered, downhill, 180 right-hander to get back onto the start straight. But Cairoli looking defensive as he goes to the inside, and he'll continue to hold the inside at the bottom of the hill. Great move back from Anstey. Came out of nowhere, reminiscent of Fevre on Webb at the bottom of Mount St. Helens in Glen Helen a couple of years ago in 2015. But Cairoli didn't like that. He tried to respond. He tried to fight back immediately. And he's definitely decided, you know what, that was a wake-up call. Need to get myself back into this race.
Well, it is, and he handed out that wake-up call to Anstey earlier. Took Anstey a couple laps to regroup, but certainly has. And now he's putting the pressure on Gauthier Paulin. So it's the way Anstey's riding, a second couldn't be out of the question at all.
I think Cairoli has goggle problems. On the downhill just a moment ago, he was using his thumb to wipe the lens, and then again on the exit of the turn going up the hill. So I think he's had that moment that he had earlier in the year. He's pulled a tear off and they've all come off, the whole laminates.
Well, and also it's like I mentioned before about how you get all that roost, and the roost hurts. The other thing is that you can go through all of your tear-offs quickly because of how the soil is, and that might be what Cairoli has experienced right now.
And he spun up coming out of that right-hander just a moment ago as well, so he's leaving it to Anstey and Paulin here to fight it over second, with Tim Geiser 7 seconds further up the track. Look at the skies starting to close in. Hopefully we'll get through the qualifying races here today without a drop of rain, because the track actually is pretty perfect given the nature of the ground and the hillside here, and you know, the kind of racing that we're getting here today. So Anstey going in pursuit then of Paulin as they drop down the hill. Van Horbeke is still 5th. Bobryshev 6, Ferris 7, Thomas 8, Seeley, Koldenhoff 9 and 10. So Seeley found his way back past Glenn Koldenhoff. That'll be a nice confidence boost for the American.
Yeah, and as we're coming up on the white flag, you've got Tim Gajser out front. Has the best lap of anyone at a 26.5. That'll be the one lap board. And Gajser's 5.6 seconds out. The last lap, Gajser slowed down to a 2:30. Gauthier was at a 2:29, and it's Anstie who was the quickest at a 2:27. So really starting to get fired up. And you got to think that the home fans here, this British crowd, are, now that Anstie's got warmed up and maybe a little bit of nerves from being the first race here this weekend, get that out of the way. He's ready to put down some hot laps. And remember, he's going after a rider that's on the reigning champions. They hoisted the Chamberlain Trophy the last 3 years in a row, Gauthier Paulin and Team France. So that'd be a little bit of motivation right here as the riders try to sort themselves out and try to play that chess match.
Here's Gajser, 67. Waved yellow, somebody down just around the corner here. So, but Gajser, used to seeing the Slovenians in green, so obviously got green on the helmet there, but on the spray job, but slightly different colorway this weekend for the Slovenian crew.
Well, Gajser's turned in some decent races here at this event, but never really had a real outstanding ride, I wouldn't say, right? I mean, even when he was MX2 world champion, and as a team they've struggled, but he certainly is focused here. And there you've got the two Husqvarnas.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. Rockstar Energy and Husqvarna have got a whole, almost like a full gate here this weekend in providing rider assistance. And the guys
Anstie gets a good drive right there.
Then almost lost it. Back end stepped out. He's not done yet. He thinks he can find his way. Oh! Whoa! Oh! Back markers in the way. Anstie picks himself up. The 97 there of Dmitro Asmanov. And Anstie picks himself up. Wow. He got landed on in Ernée a couple of years ago and kept him out of the nations that year, Max Anstie. And he's just had a collision there with a back marker that's about 20 seconds a lap slower.
It's good to see after that crash there that Anstie got right back up. Not so sure about the other rider, but meanwhile, Gajser's going to take it all the way to the checkers.
So Gajser wins for Slovenia. And Paulin will cross the line second, 5 seconds down, and then Cairoli third. But watch this here.
Oh, this...
From one side of the track to the other, the guy was out of control.
Yeah, really. What number was that there?
The 97, Asmanov.
Wow. I mean...
Big crash.
Yeah, jumped from the left. I mean, right in there. And the blue flags were waving just before that turn, right?
Yeah.
Just before that turn, the blue flags were out, and if you're a lap rider and you see the blue flag, you need to stay out of the way. There's a race happening. You're not in it.
And Gajser had already gone through. Paulin had already gone through. And, you know, just take a look up. You know, Gajser was 5 seconds clear at that point. So, fortunate there that Anstie was able to pick himself up in fourth. But here's your winner, Tim Gajser. With Lisa, let's hear what he has to say.
Tim Gajser, great job. Perfect start to yours and Slovenia's weekend.
Yeah, it was great. You know, I have a good start and then pass Max immediately and then make a little gap, and then I really enjoy the track. You know, the track is just amazing, in perfect shape. You know, like so tacky, so grippy, and I can't wait for tomorrow. You know.
Good luck for tomorrow. Thank you, Tim.
Tim Gajser then for Slovenia, getting the job done here in MXGP qualifying race. Taking the pressure off his two teammates that are yet to come in MX2 and MX Open, Jeff, but good ride from the Slovenian, kind of what we expect him to do here. He didn't race last year in Majura last year, incidentally.
Yeah, and Gajser here, I mean, you can tell, I mean, the riders have really been excited about riding this course, and he's like, even as gnarly as it looks, he's like, oh, the track is epic, right? He's really liking it. So first one out of the way, 3 former world champions and 2 formers and 1 reigning. So high-fiving. love to see the camaraderie.
Take a look at the race result then. A win for Slovenia with Gajser. France was second with Gauthier Paulin, and Italy third with Cairoli. Great Britain fourth with Anstey. Fifth for Belgium with Jeremy Van Horbeke and Russia. Sixth with Bobryshev. 7 Ferris for Australia. 8 Switzerland with Arno Tonis. 9 for USA, Cole Seeley, and 10 the Netherlands with Glenn Koldenhoff. Portugal's Rui Gonçalves was 11. Cooper of New Zealand was 12. Ratseb of Estonia 13. Pacotti 14 of Canada. Bengtsson Sweden, and Boutron 16 of Spain. 17th from Czech Republic was Philip Neugbauer. Then Justin Starling riding for Puerto Rico. Stuart Edmonds 19 for Ireland, and Thomas Simcoe 20, and the rest of the riders there. But the main talking point of that race, Jeff, that prang at the end between the Ukrainian Dmitro Asmanov and Max Anstey that could have changed the whole complexion of Team GP's home nations.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, I mean, Anstey has been involved in some really odd accidents here at this event, so hopefully he skates out of that without anything bad.
Some of the best moments here then from that race. I'm sure we'll catch the qualifying highlights in a moment, but just interesting to see the looks on some of the faces there just before the motor. What do you think of this new start system, Jeff? Obviously, we've seen the mesh all year, but that drop in from up high look.
Yeah, well, here's a good look at it. I mean, if you notice right there, that was Nagel.
Yeah.
So the 64 comes through with the whole shot, and he was lined up to the right of the middle, so he didn't have a good gate spot there and came out with the whole shot, so it may be pretty fair.
1 or 2 sketchy moments. We'll talk about the action in just a moment with our qualifying highlights, but that is another look at how lucky Max Anstey was after that collision a moment ago. Great crowd in here. Here's what happened in the MXGP qualifying race just a few moments ago here at the 71st edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations, presented by Fiat Professional.
At the back of his team manager. Voilà le retour de Max Nagel dans les stands avec le patron de l'équipe Ice One et Drama.
Stream daring? No. Wi-Fi, man. Fuck my Wi-Fi. It's their problem. They send it to whatever. They send it to this, look. See, good quality. You see? Yo soy pro limitar todo lo que... Yo soy pro limitar todo a 60. Silly se ha caído o se la ha cagado. El control debería estar el 11. Vale, con sabes. ¿Y este hueputa dónde está? No lo han ni acabado. ¿Y Reina que ha fallado? No, así bastante normal. El Justin Starling es igual lo podía ver. ¿A qué hora empieza? 10 minutos. Con 10 minutos empieza a ver. En medio empieza. Venga, pero venir para allá.
Diego, perdona mamá, no te he entendido, pero te he llamado 2 veces.
Pero ¿qué cojones? Es una tetera con un pulse jet. Okay. Sí, que se calienta en la mitad de tiempo debe ser. Mira. Adiós. Como para no calentarse.
Hydroforming! This is a process we use high pressure water to form metal. Easy way to imagine this, like when you fill a water balloon up, put the balloon over the tap, turn the tap on, the balloon expands, creating a 3D object from something that was initially 2D. Swap the balloon for sheets of metal, swap the tap for something we've all got in our garage, or in my case, my neighbour's garage. A pressure washer! These things will kick out 100 bar. First thing we need to do is make an adaptation for the end of the hose, because you can't just shove that into a bit of metal. So, let's take the thing to bits. Right, we split this in half. And we want a little brass thing on the end there. Right, let's shove this in here. Right, now we've got a quarter BSP tap. You can get these off eBay, they're pretty cheap. And then we can wind this in here. Nice. Now we've got a thread in the end, we can get like a little nipple or a fitting or anything like that and connect that into the end, and that gives us a way to connect our hose to our workpiece. Okay, we need something to form, so to start with I've got some 1mm mild steel sheet. Safety. So I've cut a few different shapes out. Drill a hole in one of the plates and then weld the two together around the edges, and then above the hole weld a steel plumbing fitting. You could also put this in the side or anywhere really, it doesn't really matter. Now then, for the attachment, I've got a load of plumbing fittings. I'll put all the links on my website where you can buy all these. I've also managed to get a pressure gauge so we can actually see what pressure's inside. Now, we can wind that onto the plumbing fitting, like so. That'll go on there, which is a lot easier to do when I haven't got to concentrate on the camera. And then the hose can wind into there and then pump it up. But also I've got a little cap which I can undo because we've got to get the air out. We don't want any air in there because air is compressible, and then if one of the weld was to fail or anything, we'd have kind of like a little miniature bomb really. While it's just got water in it, it doesn't matter. Water's non-compressible. If it just gets a hole in it, it'll just pin out, it'll just spray a little bit of water out, and then it will just, the pressure will just reduce immediately. So we're hoping. Right, I'm going to try the square one. Oh, that's got some pressure in it now. We're only 20 bar went to. bursted. This is actually not that bad. We've kind of made a metal pillow. Check that out, ladies. I think that's quite cool. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but... Oh, there's a big kink in it. Oh, it's going to go, it's going to go. Seems to have got a bit of a buckle in it somehow. Circles don't work. As this thing tries to grow, the sides try and contract and they've got nowhere to go because they're all joined and you end up getting a horrible kinky mess. Kinky mess. But maybe these different shapes. This one hopefully is going to make a funnel. This is going to be like a 2-stroke exhaust chamber. Right, let's see how this goes. This is actually really cool. This does resemble a 2-stroke exhaust, just need to get rid of the dents. And this pillow shaped thing, even though I thought it was quite useless, if you just cut the middle out of it, you could actually use that to cap off a square piece of pipe with like a bit of a domed head. And then this, well, this is going to be an awesome funnel or a cone or something like that. Chop it off there, use the useful bit in the middle. Now, I want to get rid of this horrible snotty weld, so I'm going to get the grinder, cut it out, re-weld it up. Put the pressure washer back in it to get rid of all the little small dents and stuff. Stick it on the old polishing machine and voila! A lovely cone. Now what are we going to do with it? I'll come this way. There we go, it's a fantastic process. It even works on stainless steel as well, which I was quite shocked at. But we've had an experiment, we've had a play, see what works, what doesn't work. Next video, we're going to try and make something out of all this. Let's use this hydroforming malarkey to try and make something a bit more useful. Well, here we are, let's make a pulse jet. Here's the flat template, which I've managed to work out. I'll stick the design of this on my website, but never mind all that. Let's make it. You don't have to use a TIG, you can use a MIG as well, but this is better.
To help them, Jesse Nelson and many others. So yeah, we're in the stand, and I mean, you guys can probably tell them we've got Ricky Carmichael and Max Anstey is going to come over later, so come over and see what we're doing. And we've also got some cool prizes we can win. There's the champions from the year. We've got Ryan Dunn, we've got Tyrant, so we've got the win. We've got Tyrone and also Comax. So
Hello everybody, welcome back to Matchney Basin. We are in the south of England. We are here in Hampshire, beautiful city, a medieval city, beautiful cathedral as well. It's the 71st edition of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations, presented by Fiat Professional My name's Paul Malin, alongside me, Jeff Emig. And Jeff, it's qualifying day here on Saturday in Hampshire at Matterley Basin, a beautiful picturesque circuit in the South Downs here pretty much. And just around the corner, actually, from where General Eisenhower addressed the troops on the eve of the D-Day landings back in 1944. And a lot of history around here, but some guys will be trying to make history all by themselves this weekend.
Yeah, and if you're a tourist that's here and you're visiting the Winchester area and you see those beautiful images, that's what the riders think of this race course. It's absolutely brilliant. They love it. They're having a lot of fun. Of course, it's going to get rough. It'll get nasty. Those ruts will get difficult. But as we saw just a moment ago in our MXGP qualifier, the winner, Tim Geiser out of Slovenia, was absolutely, I mean, he was grinning ear to ear. So that the riders love this track. There's been a few changes. The start mainly, a few turns here and there. Some massive jumps, a lot of off cambers, and they think that it's just as beautiful as the English countryside here in this part of Hampshire.
Well, it's a nice, fine day here. There's a nice cool breeze in the air, but Lisa Leyland was down on the grid a few moments ago with Christophe Charlier for France, and Team Ireland's Martin Barr. Let's hear what they have to say.
The MX2 qualifying is almost about to start here at the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations presented by Fiat Professional. Now, I want to speak to Team Ireland's Martin Barr, if I can grab a few words with him. Martin, you're quite a veteran at the Motocross of Nations, aren't you? This is actually your 15th one, so that's quite an achievement.
Yeah, it's a real good achievement, you know, something that I'm pretty proud of. But yeah, every year comes around, you know, you get excited to get the phone call to say you've been picked again, so that never gets old. But you know, this is probably our closest one we'll ever get to home, so it's absolutely fantastic out there. The crowd, the amount of people that's come over from home to support us, it's brilliant out there. So it's yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And how are your teammates? How are you getting on with those?
Yeah, they're going really good. Stuart's just finished his first heat race. I think he was 19th, and Graham had a good qualifying position this morning. So yeah, we just need to go out and ride the way we know we can, and hopefully everything will work out for us.
Martin, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you. Martin Barr there from Team Ireland. Right, I want to speak to Christophe Charlier, representing Team France this weekend. Last minute fill-in actually for Dylan Ferrandis and also Benoit Patra, and we haven't seen him in the motocross paddock for a while. He's riding number 2 and he's over here. Christophe, just grab a few words with you. Firstly, it's great to see you back here in the motocross paddock. What's it like being back?
Yes, it's really good for me. It's a good opportunity to come back this race, because it's the big race in the motocross, and this year I don't ride a lot in the motocross. I ride a lot in enduro. I make a good season in enduro for the first year, and yeah, really happy to come back there.
And of course, Team France are the defending champions. You've had the Chamberlain Trophy for 3 years now. Do you feel much pressure?
No, not so much, because yeah, I changed discipline now. It's more like bonus now to come there. Yeah. And now my challenge is to win this race, because if we win this race, I win also 6 days in enduro. So yes, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good for me, and this is the goal. Yeah.
Christophe, good luck in qualifying.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good luck to all the guys here. It's time for the MX2 qualifying race.
Well, as always, shortly after that, the riders headed out onto the circuit for their sighting lap, and this one is going to be an interesting one, Jeff, MX2 qualifying.
Yeah, just there, you talked about Christophe Charlier from France. He qualified 9th at a 2:33.7. But your fastest qualifier here in the MX2 division was the American Zach Osborne on the Husqvarna at a 2:28.7. So Charlier got a little bit of time to make up here. Find a little bit of speed in this event.
Yeah, and it's more, I mean, the 40 minutes they get on track, it's more of a free practice, isn't it, where guys just, you know, throwing a few fast laps towards the end. It doesn't have any bearing on the grid position at all, because that is all done by ballot. If you weren't with us for the qualifying race for MXGP, Portugal were pulled out of the hat first. They will go to the line first, and look at that, Hunter Lawrence will go second for Australia, and Charlier third for France. And as you can see, that is how they go. You know, those positions are drawn by the FIM at 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, and it was interesting there when you look at some of the teams that are favored on paper, right? Like who's got a pretty solid 3-rider team. As you worked your way down here, there were some interesting choices with Great Britain there, 24th. You're going to have Tommy Searle dropping down from the 450 ride to 250. Had a great qualifying time, not qualifying, free practice time for Darren Sinai, the American who's riding for Puerto Rico. And as you get through the rest of the order there, two of the biggest, most successful teams in Motocross of Nations history, with Team USA drawing 37 and Belgium drawing 34.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. But we saw how fair the start was in that first MXGP qualifying race. But MX2 free practice, Zach Osborne was the fastest for Team USA at 2:28.7. He was 0.3 quicker than Darren Sinai on the Kawasaki for Puerto Rico. Hunter Lawrence for Australia was third, just another 1/10 back, so half a second off of Osborne. Fourth was Thomas Kjær Olsen for Denmark, and the Netherlands, Brian Bogus, was fifth. Tommy Searle, as you mentioned, a good time for him. He was still 2 seconds off the pace, but he was struggling in the early part of the practice session as we look at Christophe Charlier for Team France, riding number 2. And it was more line choice that he was struggling with and just getting comfortable. And then next thing, he started to put a few things together in the final stages, and they were his best laps of the race. And they were on par with the quick guys at that time. So I think Tommy Searle will be coming in just pretty comfortable, having, you know, made some adjustments at the end of the practice session.
And I believe this is Tommy's 11th Motocross of Nations. So a veteran of this event. He's had a lot of success at this event, riding for Great Britain, and for sure Tommy has good speed, right? But he's dropping down, normally riding the 450, riding the smaller bike here, but certainly you'd have to think that his experience after 11 races here is what he's hoping to draw on, and especially being the host nation. And there's been a lot of excitement. I mean, everybody wants a piece of Team GB here as we take a look at Tommy there, number 20. But he's been here and done that, and so hopefully his experience can help him keep the nerves calm. And you know, the amount of fans and stuff that are cheering for this team is just outstanding. So hopefully he can draw on that experience.
So riders are lining up in the positions. Well, there's Prado. Prado, actually, yeah, this is the crazy thing. Prado for Spain. Spain 23rd on the grid.
And in practice, Prado was your 10th quickest, 2:33.8.
So just looking down at the grid then, of course, the start list should be Paolo Alberto, Hunter Lawrence, Christophe Charlier. GB were alongside Prado, so yeah, Prado was 23. So they are lining up, Jeff, as we suspected. Look, one by one. There's the number 14 of Michele Chervelin for Team Italy. Valentin Guillot alongside him, riding number 17. We've got Christophe Charlier, Brian Bogus, Zach Osborne, Brent Van Donnick, Michele Chervelin, Valentin Guillot, Tommy Searle, Hunter Lawrence, Harry Kulas, Sean Mathenbayer from Canada, and then Evgeny Mikhailov of Russia, Jorge Prado of Spain, Alvin Osland of Sweden, Thomas Kjær Olsen of Denmark, Peter Schmidtke, Josiah Natsky. Then we've got Martin Barr, Henry Jacobi. Their job made more difficult now for Germany with the DNF of Max Nagel in the MXGP qualifying race. But where is Zach Osborne? He should be over on the far side. There he is, 2 gates from the end in the blue pants and red top. That's where we're going to be looking in terms of this gate drop here. MX2 qualifying, about to get underway, 20 minutes plus 2 laps. He gets a good jump and he tries to come across. But it's Hunter Lawrence up the inside for Team Australia in the green and gold, and he hits the foxhole shot line first. Brian Bogus alongside him for the Netherlands in that orange helmet, and then we look to try and see as we pick out these guys at the bottom of the hill.
Everybody made it through clean though, but what a great start here for the Australian. Hunter Lawrence.
How well did Osborne come out of that little exchange through the first few corners. Is
well,
that
we've
him
got
at
our
about
first
5th or 6th
timing
place?
and scoring loop, and it's going to put Searle 8. So we look through the...
Lawrence leads away.
There
Bogus
goes
second.
Osborne by in 16th.
Boris Paulo Alberto 3rd. Prado of Spain is 4. Sanai 5th. So that's him on the green Kawasaki here, just off the back of that group. Then in 6th place, 7th is Harry Kulas. 8th, Tommy Searle. 9, Sabalis. 10, Maffenbeier. Barr is 11th for Ireland. Charlier 12. Fabio Santos of Brazil. Vladimir Tarasov, Evgeny Mikhailov. Osborne 16. Thomas Kjær Olsen 17. And then Kronkovic, Gio, and Richard Sakina. And Prado getting himself up quickly on the KTM for Spain, on that Red Bull KTM, just ahead of these two guys.
Now they come into the
start. Sanai down for Puerto Rico.
And that's going to cause a massive pile up there as you're coming down that off camber. So allow Prado a little bit of breathing room right here.
Yeah, puts him up into 3rd, just behind Brian Bogus, and then behind them, I think that might be Jacoby, maybe, or Paulo Alberto. Let's see if we can get a close-up on the numbers as they go through that bottom turn. Looks like the Portuguese colours of Alberto in 4th position. But a lot of work now for Sanai to try and rectify that. In fact, that's him, I think, heading up over on the far side there. Looks like the back fender is hanging off the bike. But it's Hunter Lawrence for Team Australia, a debut rider in this Motocross of Nations for Team Australia. He should have rode for him last year, but maybe the injury that he had was a blessing in disguise, because he's certainly plied his trade in MX2 this year. A race win at the final round at Villars-Suzerain 2 weekends ago, and getting a little bit slick on the takeoff there as Lawrence comes over the line.
Taking a look as we go back through the pack here, there looks like that was Osborne. You're going to notice him in that red jersey, blue pants, riding the white bike.
Comes through in 10th.
So he's made 6 positions there since the first timing and scoring loop.
But Prado really uses his legs a lot on that bike. He's delicate on the foot pegs as he charges downhill after Brian Bogus, but it's Lawrence who leads the way. Bogus 2nd, Prado 3rd at the bottom of the hill here. Paulo Alberto, then Tommy Searle on that green Kawasaki, the host nation, riding number 20. He's in 5th position, so the second rider in shot now, dropping down this hill, is Tommy Searle. Just behind him, Christophe Charlier, the ISDE gold medalist for Team France this year, just a few weeks ago, back in the motocross discipline after France suffering a couple of injuries, first to Dylan Ferrandis and then to Benoit Paturel, as Searle charging after the Portuguese Alberto.
Got a really good battle going on here. Searle trying that inside line. Now we're really starting to see how difficult these turns are getting, because these ruts are just massive.
Good line, good drive, stays low as well. Good convincing move there, decisive move from Tommy Searle as they step back down up towards the quad. Obviously the MX2 guys not able to get over the thing this time around, and no one's done that as Charlier follows through as well. Goes past Paulo Alberto. He's trying to hug a nice tight inside line there, but Searle getting the fans on his side here. Osborne closing in fast in the background. The 4th rider at the back of the shot, under the bridge now, is Osborne. That has been a great recovery for the AMA MX2 or 250 Lights champion. He almost runs into the back of the Portugal rider. So Osborne obviously got on the podium here a few years ago in MX2 before heading home to realise another dream, which was a double dream, in fact, this year, Jeff.
Yeah, look at this. He's going to try to go around the outside. Doesn't make it happen. Ironically, Osborne spent a lot of time here when he raced in Europe, riding MX2 division of the GPs, and he lived in this area, so feels really comfortable. It's almost like just coming to my second home.
And he's got his full race bike here as well this weekend. So in terms of getting on the bike and feeling comfortable straight away, Zach Osborne, he already knew the track, he knows the area, he knows the language. There's a lot that he's comfortable with, and he's definitely got that thing working for him here at Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. And
this is unbelievable. There's 10 positions in 2 laps.
Yeah,
he's absolutely sliced his way through. So out front, the fastest lap was Hunter Lawrence at a 2:30. Okay, Osborne, who was in 6th, comes by at a 2:31.4.
Look at the line there
as he's trying to work his way through traffic.
Yeah, Rockstar Energy Husky past Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. So 2 of them there, but Osborne definitely showing more commitment as he heading in the turn 2 at the top of the hill, round the outside, not following. And I tell you what, if he finds his way past Tommy Searle, which looks like it's going to be pretty imminent here, Searle will do well just to sort of say, right, okay, come by and I'll try and follow your lines, because Osborne is on a mission at the moment, Jeff.
Yeah, he is. Watch, he's going to try to cut back to the inside. Now slides out just a little bit.
He looks good, doesn't he, Osborne? Attacking everything. Do you feel that he has a point to prove? Coming back here as the AMA champion?
I think so.
There you go.
I mean, wow, look at that. Makes it look easy. He's just so aggressive, and that's what's been different about Zach Osborne this year. It's like the switch just flicked on, and he just came alive. I mean, the confidence that he rides with and how he attacks the track, his intensity is just incredible.
Charlier looking to find a way past the Brit. Tommy Searle there, number 20 on that green Kawasaki. So we have America, USA, Great Britain and France all going through there in 4th, 5th and 6th position. Jorge Prado of Spain is just ahead of them.
Well, I venture to say that Osborne, that pace that he's on right now, last lap around there was a 2:31.4. It's got to be quicker than that. And so far, that quickest lap was by Lawrence at a 2:30 flat. Now remember, earlier today in free practice, when the track was a little bit better condition, but it was a little bit muddier also, Osborne turned in a 2:28.7, so we'll see if he can get close to that.
Charlier looking for a way through still. And what I'm noticing here, Jeff, obviously a few weeks ago at the MXGP of the Netherlands at Assen, Tommy Searle did get a knock to that left ankle of his. So left-hand turns might be just bothering him a little bit with these deep ruts. So I wonder if that's just slightly hampering him a little bit here.
Well, possibly, but and Tommy, like we mentioned, he's got some experience, and he knows he's got a very strong team pair of teammates with Dean Wilson and Max Anstey. And if that's the case, Tommy knows that it's going to be really important for him to not only get through this with the solid result, and he's had a great start, he's doing exactly what he needs to do, but come tomorrow, that if his teammates if they're firing on all cylinders, he knows that I need one good result.
Well, here's Thomas Kjær Olsen, number 41, closing in on Christophe Charlier. So the two Rockstar, in fact, there's at least three Rockstar Energy Husqvarnas out in this one, Jeff, with Osborne in 4th, Charlier 6th, Thomas Kjær Olsen 7th.
Yeah, and I told you we'd take a look at those lap times, and sure enough, Osborne has just turned in a 2:29 flat, so absolutely flying. That's a second faster than Hunter Lawrence had out front. And like I mentioned, Osborne, when the track was in a little better condition, turned to 2:28.7, so he's right there on pace. But it's Olsen right there, number 41, that's totally on the gas right now, trying to close in on the Frenchman, Christophe Charlier.
And look behind Thomas Kjær Olsen, the green Kawasaki of Darian Sunai from Puerto Rico, riding number 77. He fell on the first lap, half a lap, and he's already back up to 8th place. So it was a tip over on the opening lap. He was inside the top 5 when he fell. And he would have lost some serious places. He's done well to get back.
Especially on the first lap, right?
Through this turn here. So that's been a great recovery from Darian Sunai. He's in 8th. Harry Kulas of Estonia is 9, and Paulo Alberto now from Portugal down in 10th. Up to 11th is Brent Van Donnik of Belgium. 12, that's him just going through there in the fluorescent colours. We've got the 62 in there as well. That's Alberto, and but Van Donnik just behind Harry Kulas as they head up the hill for Belgium. And who's that just off the back? The 29, Sean Maffenbeier of Canada. So the Canadian then here, just in red around the outside. Rut going around the Portuguese rider, looking to pick off more positions. But makes the move. So Canada pick up another position. That'll be good for their qualifying places. There's Brian Bogus. So Bogus and Prado right here. Look at Prado, 2:30 for him, but Osborne 2:28.7 closing in. Is within 3 seconds of this group now. There he is at the exit of turn 1.
Osborne just turned a 2:28.7, matching his fastest. What was that? 5 1,000ths. slower than his fastest time. The bottom line is, no matter how rough and nasty and gnarly these turns have gotten on this track, Osborne has found a way to match his best time from earlier today. He is absolutely flying. I mean, the next fastest lap from anyone last time around was Lawrence, and that was about a little over a second lap slower.
Wow, look at the commitment here from Osborne, charging down the inside, looking a little bit loose, but it's effective.
Prado trying to hold that line. They're going to get close right here, but Prado has got the inside line.
Wow. Osborne just making it look so easy.
I mean, he just will not be denied.
Those middle to outside ruts are starting to work. They're becoming more effective. Inside are getting choppy. Short, choppy bumps, and Osborne knows that. So he's just gone, you know what? Just keep that flow, keep that momentum. That's where he's making up all his time. But Hunter Lawrence is already 6.5 seconds clear of everybody at the moment. But yeah, great ride from Zach Osborne, Jeff. The 37th choice gate pick. Wasn't great on the opening lap, but he put in some serious passes as Prado was just looking a little bit ragged as they entered that Monster Energy rhythm section.
Osborne's got a really interesting sort of technique. We saw him before the wave section right there.
Belgium.
Osborne, a lot of times when he makes a mistake in a turn and you see both of his feet come off the pegs, it doesn't seem to bother him much. And there's a lot of times where you'll see him exit the turn like that, where the feet come off the pegs or whatever, and he just hits the throttling, and he'll jump out of the turn with both feet off the pegs and then gather it back up. I've watched him do that, you know, literally hundreds of times. He just does not let off the throttle for any reason.
Nah, you can see he's just throwing it out there, isn't he? He's just not even blinking. It's just like he's hit the gate and at the start, and he's racing like a title depended on it here in the qualifying race. He's alongside Bogus, who takes a look over to his left. Bogus might break early. Look at that line there from Osborne, just using the bank and then just dropping in across the top of the rut, opens up the whole straight, and then it'll be nice and tight here through turn one. Watch this line here. Same as Bogus. Bottom of the hill, he might find his way through, Jeff.
Trying the inside line here.
He's been so committed here. Bogus might put the squeeze on him. He does. So the rider from the Netherlands. These guys now 10 seconds behind Hunter Lawrence. Fastest lap of the race for Osborne once again. 2:27. Sneaks up to the inside of Bogus, who tries to respond immediately and does so briefly. So that's the only time we've seen somebody find their way back past Zach Osborne. Look at that line around the outside, Jeff.
Just right around the outside. Neither one. Oh, so we've got yellow flags. Looks like that might have been a lap rider that was down.
Well, I think they'll be looking at that because of the waved yellow situation, and it's got to be wheels on the ground there, obviously, as and where possible. They didn't jump the whole tabletop, though.
Yeah, and as we watched Osborne trying to make that move on Bogers there, we lost sight of the fact that Osborne just turned his fastest lap of the day at a 2:27.9, so quicker than he went in free practice and quickest of this moto of anyone, so he's absolutely flying. And Hunter Lawrence turned in a pretty good time last time around, too, at a 2:28.9 out front.
We'll keep an eye on that.
Osborne's 10 seconds off the lead right now.
Yeah, when he crossed the line in third, he now has clear track, which is important for him. So we have the Australian Hunter Lawrence out front. And then we have Bogus there. He's in third place now. He's been passed by Osborne. Here is your race leader. 5.5 minutes to go. The first sighting we get of the Aussie.
Well, and I haven't had a chance to watch him race very much, but the people that I know that have spent time around him say that Hunter Lawrence is a real special kid. He's got a special talent and a great family, right?
Yeah.
Extremely talented little brother also, but having this opportunity here to go out and prove what he's all about, showing amazing speed right now. He comes by last lap at a 2:30.2 out front, just kind of doing his own thing, and at the moment paired with Dean Ferris's 7th in the MXGP qualifier, and as of right now, the first, that would put Australia on top.
Well, the gap was 10 seconds, wasn't it, at the end of the previous lap when Osborne was in third. It's now 11 because Lawrence goes through 2:30.2, a full second quicker than Osborne that time around. So that gap going out.
I don't remember Osborne having any sort of major issue other than just trying to work his way around Brian Bogers.
Here's Searle, so Thomas Kjær Olsen. So Thomas Kjær Olsen starting to close in on Tommy Searle in 5th place. So the Brit charging downhill here. So Charlier just behind them, dropping into that bottom corner now behind them. Then Sanai is in 8th for Puerto Rico. Kulas 9 for Estonia, and then Sean Maffenbar of Canada. Valentin Guillot 11, Martin Barr of Ireland 12, Henry Jacobi 13, and then Paolo Alberto and Carlos Sabanes.
Well, I tell you what, Paul, if indeed Tommy Searle there had any sort of lasting pain or problem there from that ankle injury from a couple weeks ago, there's probably nothing in the world that can help squash that pain and put it out of your mind than to be riding for your country and to be the host nation.
Yeah.
We'll ride for 2 days, and I can worry about the injury after this, because this is the last race of the season for these riders, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, just get the qualifying race out of the way as well. Just get to it in one piece.
He's got pressure, though.
Yeah, TKO up the inside. He'll hold a nice tight line all the way through here. Tommy just left the door open there.
It's going to put Kjær Olsen up to 5th. Tommy back to 6th.
He's got a little bit of a gap there behind him, which is Charlier, who makes a mistake, and then Sanai still there in 8th place. The lower end of the top 20 leaderboard, Albin Osland of Sweden in 16th position, Michele Chervelin for Italy in 17th, Brent Van Donek of Belgium in 18th, Schmidtke 19 for Czech Republic, and Richard Zakina next from Slovakia. Just looking further down the list, Josiah Natski 28th for New Zealand. So as it stands at the moment, overall, with the first qualifying race from MXGP and the second one here in MX2, Australia are lead qualifiers at the moment. So that gap down to 9.9 seconds between Lawrence and Osborne. Australia are leading the way in qualifying. 7th from their first rider, Dean Ferris, in Moto number 1, and Hunter Lawrence here with a potential win. That puts Australia on 8. France are next on 9, with a 2nd in race 1 with Paul Ann, and the 7th here of Charlier. 3rd, Great Britain on 10. 4th from Max Anstey, and at the moment, Tommy Searle currently in 6th. Then the USA on 11. And 9th in race 1 with Cole Seeley, and 2nd here for Zach Osborne with 2 minutes to go. And then the Netherlands, who were runner-up last year, they're on 13th. 10th in race 1 with Glenn Koldenhoff, and 3rd here at the moment with Brian Bogers, Jeff. So this one will still, has the potential to change. Just looking at Germany, they're in 25th at the moment. They're going to the B final because they will have to throw away the 36th. Of Max Nagel, who didn't finish the race but will still be classified at the point of when he went out.
What an impressive ride here by the Suzuki rider. Wow, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, riding without a care in the world. I was talking to Michael Byrne earlier, the Burner, and saying,
assistant team manager.
Yeah, for Team Australia, and he was, I was saying, look, Hunter Lawrence, it's kind of one of those kids that sometimes, he'll tell you exactly what you need to hear, and sometimes, for an event like this, it's very easy just to go, yeah, I'm not nervous, this, that, and the other, and whatever else. And I asked Burner, and I said, have you seen anything from that would suggest anything other? He said no. He said he's just taking it all in his stride, looks very relaxed, and he's feeling confident. So good to have one of those guys on the team.
Look at the crews they come through there. Should be Osborne right there.
So Osborne from Team USA and Lawrence in the background. This gap is starting to come down, but just wondering whether Lawrence is just backing it off a little bit. There he is, flying in the opposite direction downhill. And so Lawrence 9.9 seconds clear. And here is Hunter Lawrence, your race leader. See what the times are as they hit the line. Next time you see the Monster Energy finish line just at the top of the Tag Heuer hill here. Just to Osborne's right, there is Lawrence. So in that respect, Osborne does have a good visual, Jeff.
Yeah, but it's going to be too little too late. Yeah. They're going to come by. It's going to be 3 more laps now that the countdown clock is at 0. Lawrence went by while there was still time on the clock. And so taking a look at those lap times, last time around, Lawrence was at a 2:31.8, so slowed down a little bit. Osborne kept a really good pace, 2:28.7. So now the gap to the leader for Osborne is just under 7 seconds.
He could win this because when you look at a 2:28.7 and a 2:30, that's 3 seconds.
Well, and Osborne has proven all season long in America that late in the race, he is the strongest, most fit rider out there. And I mean, he does not give up.
No. But this
he goes all the way to the checkered flag, and that's what won him the 250 Supercross championship.
Even when the thing was smoking.
Supercross, he made a pass with 2 turns to go in the main event of the final race to win the championship. Yeah. So it's going to take that same sort of attitude, that same sort of desire, not only just to win this this qualifying race, but to help put America on top. And that little mistake right there by Lawrence is definitely going to, next time around, the gap.
Well, Lawrence is just
not going to be 6.8 seconds.
Lawrence has just took his eye off the ball here because that, like I said to you, Zach Osborne can win this with 3 seconds a lap and with 3 laps to go. All of a sudden, that puts him 1 second clear at the finish line. Yeah. So Lawrence will be disappointed if he loses this one. And to try and turn it up now while he's just had to back it off the last couple of laps, this guy is on his form right now. There's the gap. That is not 7 seconds anymore, Jeff Emig. And there's going to be a real upset here that Australia potentially don't win this race and Team USA pick up a 1-point qualifying race win, and that will have you know, consequences maybe in the final standings of the qualifying today.
It's certainly going to tighten it up.
Put it this way, as Osborne passed here last time around, Lawrence was on that jump in the background here, so that gap is more than halved. He needs to step it up now with 2 to go.
Well, the only other team that would be happier about this gap closing up here than Team USA would be our camera guys, because now they can get both guys in the same shot. Makes life easy for them.
Yeah. And that is the gap. Final turn, penultimate turn. Right, 6.8.
Charging right now. Okay, so Hunter was at 2:31. He goes 2:31 again.
Fastest lap.
Osborne goes 2:27.4. The fastest, his fastest of the day here in the MX2 division. So Osborne he's feeling it now. Sees the carrot out there dangling. That's what he's shooting for. And Lawrence has got 2 laps to try to keep that Suzuki and Team Australia up on front of this qualifying race. Osborne's got 2 laps to try to change that.
He was 6.8 seconds clear a lap ago. That is now 2.6.
Yeah, that was about 4 seconds difference.
Yeah.
So Osborne really excels when the track is really rutted like this. His balance and his ability to keep his corner speed up through the turns, and just like I said, he seems to be unfazed if his footwork isn't right, or if you know, his feet come off the pegs. He's got this kind of cool technique and style about him that he just lifts his feet up and twists the throttle.
But look at the lines. Look at the lines, though. There's so much more fluidity and momentum from Osborne. That's the first time I think I've seen him use that inside line all race. But everywhere else, he's just railing stuff. And there's a real sense of urgency.
Oh, he's there now.
Yeah, he's right there. He's
close enough now where if you're Lawrence, you know he's there. You hear his bike. When you're in the air and you kind of hear those like pre-revs before you land, you know it's there. And you come to this section of the track, and when the fans get loud, you know something's happening behind you. And that's what starts to add a bit of nerves and kind of gets to you as a rider. And that's something that you try to fight off. You try to quiet that. But here at the Nations, with thousands of fans here, and the air horns and flags and thunder sticks and everything else, for a young rider like Hunter Lawrence, it's going to be pretty hard to put out of his mind.
Definitely riding on borrowed time. Hunter Lawrence, he goes middle. Osborne goes inside, gets hung up
second
there
line's really good.
Slightly, but so final lap showdown then, Jeff. Can Hunter Lawrence hang on here? The young 18-year-old just a few weeks ago from the AMA MX2 champ. At the moment, it would say that Osborne, the fastest man on track, and the one probably with the better lines.
Yeah, and they've got a little bit of lap traffic. It's not just a clear track here. Going to get that 1 to go board. So Lawrence goes by at a 2:30, Osborne at 2:28.5, so they're about 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds quicker Osborne was that time around.
Back markers coming out of that turn, got right in the way of Hunter Lawrence there, and Osborne has closed right in. It's almost like he saw the blue flag and just went, what, where are they? Stopped in the rut almost.
Now so Osborne was really aggressive and really quick coming down into this turn right here.
Tell you what, if
second line looks to be good.
If either one of these two rides, it'll be wins this one, it'll be an impressive ride. Here is Osborne. He goes up the inside. A mistake from Lawrence in the end. A mistake from Osborne. And Lawrence launches downhill, gets himself back in front by half a wheel, and he's going to try and show a little bit of attitude here to Osborne. He does just that. He keeps the Australians in front, Jeff.
That was awesome. Lawrence just stayed in the throttle. Osborne makes a little mistake. That's going to give Lawrence a little bit of breathing room right now, but the fans are absolutely going mad.
And I tell you what, that is the first time that Osborne has had a challenge, and he goes to the inside. This time, he looks to break through, and he'll have the line at the top of the hill here, Jeff. Wow, he goes from left to right. He takes the line away from Lawrence. Lawrence would be absolutely spewing underneath that helmet of his because half a lap to go, or not even, maybe 3/4 of a lap. And Osborne has sized his way through from a poor start to put the US in pole position here in the MX2 qualifying race at Matterley Basin, Jeff.
Wow, what a ride here. Zach Osborne. Got some great highlights, some replays coming up here. This is, look at how Osborne just manuals his way through there as Lawrence was trying to jump through those rollers, and just, I mean, that was worth about 6 bike links, just that one section.
Well, we asked Zach Osborne in the press conference yesterday, the riders' press conference, did he now feel ready to represent? And he was like, absolutely, not even, you know, there was no flinch in his answer. But look at Lawrence looking to make a move around the outside. We did say a moment ago, whoever wins this one, it'll be an impressive performance either way. Osborne because it's come through the back, and Lawrence because just on his debut here for Team Australia. But he is putting this one on the final line here. But Osborne may just hang on.
Well, we got a lap rider who's going to get out of the way right there. Osborne should have a clear track. What a race for both of these riders. Outstanding effort.
In the end, Osborne takes the win, and look at that. He is pumped with that. 1.1 seconds. He came from the back, and he's taken that win. He's taken the MX2 regulars by storm, and that is a massive confidence booster, massive shot in the arm, Jeff, for Team USA, because let's not forget, when the team was selected, there were a lot of people, raised eyebrows, you know, still waiting for Bogus to get through. Here he is, third. Prado right behind him in fourth there. And there's your top 4. Thomas Kjær-Olsen goes through in 5th. Sanai got ahead of Tommy Searle in 6th, and Searle should come through in 7th place.
And I mean, just to talk about how outstanding the effort was there for Osborne and Lawrence, they ended up about 23 seconds, 24 seconds ahead of 3rd. And I'd venture to say on that first lap that Osborne had to probably be 15 seconds off of the lead or more. Come through and win it. Wow,
Lisa Leyland is down there just behind the skybox, getting ready to speak to our winner. It was impressive from Zach Osborne.
Zach Osborne, congratulations. Perhaps not the best start, but you're on a mission in that race, passing Hunter right at the end there. You're on a mission.
Yeah, it was a great race for me. I got a terrible start. We had 37th pick as a team, so to come out with a win is really good. I held it as wide open as I could around the start, but I just got blocked there at the end, so had to come from, I don't even know, 20th maybe worse, but it was a really good ride. I enjoyed it. The track's unreal. The crowd's just buzzing, and it's an unbelievable atmosphere.
Good luck for the race tomorrow. Thank you.
Zach Osborne, victorious in the MX2 qualifying race. It's only a qualifying race, isn't it, Jeff? Only. Tell that to him.
It's really showed what level these riders are at right now, and it puts them both in great positions after the first 2 rounds there. Australia with the 7th and a 2nd puts them on top with the low score. And Team USA with a ninth and a first puts them in third.
Take a look at the qualifying MX2 race result then. Zach Osborne for the USA, Hunter Lawrence, Australia, Brian Bogus of the Netherlands, Jorge Prado of Spain, Thomas Kjær Olsen, Denmark, Darren Sinai, great ride from him. He was on the floor on lap 1 in 6th. Searle and Charlier, Guillaume Coulas rounding out the top 10, and Sean Maffenbeier. Then Jacobi, Chervelin, Barr, Alberto, Osland, and the rest. And Australia, France, USA, Great Britain, Netherlands there, your top 5 after this 2 races. Right, here's what happened, Jeff. MX2 qualifying over on the far side. Zach Osborne in blue, look, got squeezed to the outside, but actually came out pretty good, around about 15th place.
Yeah, Prado looked like he was going to have the whole shot. Then it was the Suzuki of Lawrence, and then the Husqvarna of Bogers that comes out first and second.
Just behind them as well, Prado getting himself into third, quickly up the inside of Paolo Alberto. Sinai fell, and look at this, look how many guys go by him. He came round to finish in 6th place by the time the checkered flag fell.
I mean, there was probably 15 riders that went past him when he went down there, so great effort.
Tommy Searle eventually nicked himself into 4th or 5th with that pass on Alberto, but Charlier followed him through, and out here on the left-hand side in red and blue, Zach Osborne, from that poor start, in no time at all, was all over the back of the favourites of France and outside favourites or favourites of GB.
Yeah, and the number 8, riding for Team USA, Zach Osborne, kept just plugging away and just clicking off positions and just muscling his way through. Here he goes past Tommy Searle on the inside.
Then he was after Brian Bogus. Brent van Donnick went out for Belgium. He eventually came home in 18th place on his Yamaha. And then Osborne did get up the inside of Bogus. That put him into second. Hunter Lawrence was already about 12 seconds clear at that point.
Yeah, and you kind of had the sense that Hunter Lawrence had this win in hand, and Osborne would put in a good ride. There was a few laps where Osborne was clicking off 3 to 4 second difference. Here you see Hunter Lawrence just out front, enjoying the moto, just looking great. Look at the gap right there. And that's about the time that Osborne got into second, but as the race wore on, things would change dramatically, and it would be a 3 to 4 second a lap, quicker laps that Osborne was putting in to catch our leader.
Yeah, by the time he got into second, Osborne, he was 11 seconds down, but on about the 3rd or 4th attempt, he finally found his way past the Australian uphill here, kept the back wheel down, driving all the way up towards the tabletop. On the top of the hill, this was about 3/4 of a lap to go, and this was the end of the race. Osborne winning by 1.1 seconds over Hunter Lawrence, Bogus, Prado, and Thomas Kjær Olsen, your top 5. What a great MX2 qualifying race. Well, we are done here. We'll be back in about, well, very, very short amount of time for, well, 20 minutes. MX Open qualifying. We'll see you then.
Fancy race shirt from one of the top stars as well. Allez, 26 minutes avant de retrouver 15h30 pour la prochaine session. Nous retrouvons la catégorie Open dans 26 minutes exactement. Merci à nos amis de la Suisse, français et tous les francophones de nous avoir accompagnés.
E allora Italia, benvenuti a Monte Pesin, scusate il ritardo, ci siamo anche noi.